ठीक है जी।
What's up, everybody? Welcome to chapter 10, part 2 of .com secrets. And we were studying 7 phases of a funnel. That's where we are. And let's move on further on part 2 of chapter 10. Right. So, yesterday we learned about hot traffic, warm traffic, and cold traffic, and about the pre-frame. The most important concept we learned was pre-frame. And today we will be learning about building bridges, like how to take someone from cold audience to like how to make him warm and how to make him hot. Today we'll be studying more about that thing, right? So first of all, like that is the main. So as we had seen 7 phases, we had covered phase 1, which was pre-frame bridge, and today we'll be covering second to seventh phases. So phase 2, setting up a pre-frame bridge. So what's a pre-frame bridge? So it's a bridge that pre-frames people before they land on the page. So we have three types of bridges: hot traffic bridge, warm traffic bridge, and cold traffic bridge. So what is hot traffic bridge? See, hot traffic, hot people are those people you already have relationship with these people. So you don't have to do a lot of credibility building or framing. They already know you. These people will listen, and like simply because they already know you and they trust you, so they might be following you on your YouTube channel, they might be reading your blogs, they might be in your email list. So they already know you very very well, and all they need is just you just have to mention, yeah, you are coming up with this product, and they'll move ahead. So that is hot traffic. So what is warm bridge traffic? What is warm bridge traffic? So this is little like longer than a hot traffic bridge, but not much. So this traffic needs a little bit endorsement. So this traffic needs a little bit more authority, more social proof, so that those people can trust. So this can be with the help of an email, this could be a video, an article, or some other communication from the list or owner endorsing you and your product. So that's warm bridge traffic. And cold bridge traffic. So before explaining cold bridge traffic, I want to explain that if you want to scale any business, it's really important to scale your business to cold people, because cold people are in abundant. You'll always be having, even if you have 100,000 people in your hot email list, still there are 7 billion people out there whom you can target. So cold traffic is most important. If you want to scale your business, what we have to do is we just need to convert cold people into warm and then to convert them hot. That is the funnel, Sahil, as Hardik was mentioning. So what is a called traffic bridge? So blog posting on someone else blog, YouTube video on someone else channel, explaining more about your product, pain and pleasure, because they don't know you, they don't even know their pain. Like you'll have to agitate their pain. They don't know about the product, you'll have to explain more about the product, right? And most of the time people don't even know their problem, you'll have to explain that. So what is the bridge? This is a bridge, like you are converting those people to make the purchase happen. You'll have to pitch them at the right moment, right? So if someone already knows you, he already trusts you, he has already purchased a couple of products from you in the past, then if you'll just simply send him an email, hey, I'm offering these products at discounts, you can just get them at 20% off today, they would be happy to move ahead and would buy products from you. But if someone who doesn't know you, who has no idea about you, what you are doing, and he has no idea, even if you will sell your thing for free, he will not be that much interested because he doesn't know you. To that person, you will have to build your credibility first, right? So these are the platforms where he has mentioned, like if you have hot traffic, then you can do whatever you want, like if you have email or whatever you want. But if you have warm traffic, then you can just request other people to be in their list, so that so that they can endorse you, so that you can have their authority, so that they can have you can have their social proof. And then a cold traffic is like we are requesting someone else to be on their blog and things like that, right? So hot traffic, warm traffic, and cold traffic. And there are tons of business in all of these traffics, right? We do this every single thing, we do all of these things every single day in our advertising platforms. at this point of time I am managing around 150,000 US dollars every month in Facebook ad spends, and applying these principles only: cold traffic, warm traffic, and hot traffic. First of all, we run advertisements over cold people, then we retarget those people, and with our content we nurture them, we share our story with them, and then we retarget those people who have already made our purchase. If someone has purchased your A product, then it's very easy to sell him your B product, because he knows you, he trusts you, he's already into you, right? So that's very very easy. So you just retarget those people, and those ads generally give around 5 to 7 ROS. ROS means returns on ad spend. So that was second phase. Then we have third phase: qualify subscribers. So the whole goal here is not to just get the traffic, hot, warm, and cold. The main goal here is to find out those person who is giving to willing to give you an email address in exchange of information. That's the main goal here. So that is known as subscribing list. So what you will be doing is you will be having a squeeze page, you will share whatever you are going to give that person, and that person would share his email address and phone number, and he's into your system. So that way you are turning a cold traffic into a warm traffic. You are converting someone who doesn't know you to someone who knows you now, right? Then we have qualifying buyers. Now someone is in your list, but now you have to get money out of his pocket, right? That's what you have to do. So a buyer is a buyer is a buyer. That's the quote given by Dan Kennedy. Immediately after someone has shared his email address, his details with you, so you have to find out who among them is buyer. So how many of those 300 people interested in getting free? So what Russell Brunson does is, like, it's like if 100 people you are sending on a landing page, then out of 100 people, 30 people, 30 to 40 people generally prefer to share their email address and their phone numbers. So those people are now in your system, and if you can sell your product on second page of your funnel, then that is like now you have qualified your buyers. Now once a buyer, always a buyer. So if someone has paid even just $10 or $20, but he has got his credit card out of his pocket for you, so now he has started building a relationship with you. Now it's up to you how much you are nurturing that person and how much money you can get out of his pocket. So that's phase 4. Then we have phase 5: identify hyperactive buyers. So who are hyperactive buyers? So hyperactive buyers are those buyers who are in phase. So hyperactive buyers are those buyers who are in pain at this point of time. So it's like this might happen with you as well. Like sometimes, like I'm like, I have to go to gym, I have to go to gym, I have to lose down my weight. So suddenly, like, we are too much inspired by something that we buy all of the gears. I have to get dumbbells, I have to get this thing, I have to get this thing, I have to get this, and suddenly we spend tons of money in a single shot. So what is that stage? That is hyperactive buying stage. So like I had similar thing around an year back when I was like, I have to set up my own studio. So in a single day, I purchased lights, I purchased like green screen, I purchased stands, I purchased this ring light, I purchased everything whatever I could. I purchased this Blue Yeti. I was at hyperactive stage at that moment. And people who are in pain at this point of time, what are they willing to do right now and elevate their pain? You want to be able to offer them something, and if you don't, they will leave your side, they will leave you and go somewhere else and buy from there, because they are interested in buying, right? So that's what they do. Always think ahead of time, and you don't understand none of them. Yeah, that's good. So phase 6: age and extend the relationship. So now they have shared their email list, you have qualified them, they have made an initial purchase, and some hyperactive people have bought like all of your upsells and something. If you want, like, I can give you a real example. So recently last month we had a challenge launch where we spent around 18 grand in advertising spend, and we generated around 50 grand in purchase conversion value, in revenue. So, and you know what, out of them the ticket price was just $700, but we had an offer of $5,000 as well. $5,000 as our biggest upsell, high ticket offer. We got two purchases for $5,000, and suddenly our revenue shot from $40,000 to 50,000 US dollars with just those two upsells. Who those two people were? They were hyperactive buyers. So they were so committed to solve their problem at that some point of time that they just went ahead and move ahead with the purchase. So that's hyperactive stage. So age and extend the relationship. Now, like you have gone through all of those stages. Now what you have to do is you have to build a relationship with that person so that you can get money out of his pocket on regular intervals, honestly. So that's what we do. So like we learned about soap opera sequence, we learned about sequence scene filled email sequence. So we use all of those strategies, and then uh we build the relationship with the person and nurture them, and we just extend the relationship more. And phase 7 is changing the selling environment. So basically what happens in US market is it's very easy for people to make a decision for $100 up to $500 up to $1,000. So they can take a decision of $1,000 pretty easily. Like $100 $500 is very easy, $1,000 is a little bit difficult. But if you will ask someone 5,000 US dollars on your landing page, that won't work. They won't trust you because $5,000 is not a small sum even for US people, right? So that's the thing. So what we have to do in that case is, like, someone has bought your $100 product on your sales page. After that, you are selling them $1,000 offer in a webinar, and then to get a sale for 5,000 US dollars, what you'll have to do is you can now change your selling environment. You can now change your selling environment to one-on-one consultation calls. To anyone who has got your webinar, purchased your $1,000 product, you can now ask them, hey, you have purchased this product, and now we are offering you a free one-on-one consultation call because I want to help you more. And on that one-on-one consultation call, you can pitch your 5,000 US dollars product. That's what we did in our latest challenge launch, which I have explained in the upcoming in the phase above. So to all those people, we had around 50 purchases for our $700 product, and in those 50 purchases we offered them one-on-one consultation call for free. Out of them, around 10 people took the consultation call, and we got two purchases worth $5,000 each. So that was worth the time and effort we spent over there. So that's what you'll have to change the selling environment on the basis of your product, right? So that's what you have to do. That is phase 7. So what we learned in chapter 7 7 phases, chapter 10 7 phases of a successful funnel. What those phases were, I'm just giving a quick recap. Number 1 was pre-frame, determine the audience temperature, pre-frame them. In psychology, that is called halo effect. We also call that priming, that is also called heuristics. So like, there's a very general quote regarding that: first impression is the last impression. So that's the thing. And then we have second part, which is setting up a pre-frame page. Third part, which is qualifying subscribers. Then we have fourth part, which is qualify buyers. We have fifth part, identify hyperactive buyers. And then we have sixth part, which is age and ascend the relationship. And then we have seventh part, which is changing the selling environment. So there's nothing new to me. We are implementing every single thing every single day in our business and in the funnels I am managing. So that's what Russell Benson shares in chapter 10. And tomorrow we'll be learning chapter 11, which is 23 blocks of a successful funnel. And it is going to be very interesting, because we will be learning about all of the elements which makes a funnel successful funnel, which makes a great funnel great. And Ravi brother, which makes you one funnel away. If you understand all those blocks, if you understand all those elements, and if you implement all those things in right place, then no one can stop you from being successful with your funnels and with your advertising methods. So that's all for the day, chapter 10. And now this is the time for FAQs. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask, or if you want to share any story, or if you want to ask me anything, that's a section for next 5 minutes. So over to you, Hardik and Sai. Any questions?
No questions. Just I was curious to know that the campaign which you are telling, where you spent 18K and brought in around 50K.
50.
So these strategies you suggest your agency, or your agency already knows all these strategies, what we are reading in this .com secret?
We are already implementing all of these things every single day. So I have been implementing these things from around an year now. But it's just I
Okay.
was just not conscious about this thing. That is the only thing. Like we are implementing this
Okay.
thing
Okay. Okay.
from the very first day. I started my journey around January last year, and we are doing this for the very first day. Like we are taking free calls, we are taking free strategy calls, we are explaining them things, but we were not sure like these are the stages, that's how things are happening. We were just not conscious. But yes, we are doing this. We were very very aware, like it's not easy for people to take decision for 2000 to $3000 in just a sales page, in just an email. So whatever we used to do is like we used to request to come that person over a call, and then where there we used to explain our whole project, like what is the package. So we were doing all those things, but it's just things are now more structured, and you can say like it's now I'm doing these things consciously now, but earlier we were doing all those things subconsciously. So that's the answer.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah. Thank you.
Sahil, any question? Since this is not your field, so like maybe any question or anything?
No,
No, right? So these are the
no.
stages. Like this we are talking about an online business, so you can implement similar things in offline business as well. Doesn't matter what business you are doing, these things would still be there. All of these strategies you can implement them in offline business as well. So it's all same. Like if you want, I can give you an example, right? So what is, if someone is entering your shop, if he is already he's your regular customer, then you don't, if he already trusts you, so whatever product you will suggest, he'll just buy that, right? So that is hot traffic. If someone hasn't purchased from you yet, but he has heard from a common friend that your products are good, that he won't need that much convincing. Noise. So he won't need that much convincing, and it would be very easy to convert that person. But if someone doesn't know you and doesn't have any common connection, then first of all you'll have to build a relationship with that person, and then he would make the decision. So that's the second phase. And if we talk about third phase, you might have visited Walmart and this V-Mart, Big Bazaar. So they usually take your ask for your email address and mobile phone numbers, so that they can stay in communication with you. They can send you their offers and things like that. So now they are qualifying you over there. And then qualified buyers, once you have purchased something, so now you are in their list. Now they know how much on an average you spend in their Big Bazaar and something, and then they give you discount coupons on the basis of that, and they try to call you again and again in their mall. So that's what they do. And hyperactive buyers, so basically once you are in the mall, and suppose if you have seen, if some salesman is approaching you and you're buying things, then he would be like, sir, we have got this in the new collection, we have this, we have this is old in our collection, but since this is 1 year old, so we are now offering this on discount. He'll just try to make you spend more and more. So that's what they do, right? And in phase 6, age and the relationship, they have now taken your phone number, they have now taken your so that they'll give you SMS on regular basis to stay in touch with you. And that's what they do. And changing the selling environment, so it's like most of the offline businesses doesn't offer high ticket products. I'm not remembering any offline business which offer high ticket products. Hardik, do you have an example? They usually offer bumps and like small offers, but I'm not remembering any name which sells high ticket offers. But they can do that. Like if someone is buying already, if someone has bought suppose MacBook, so he can easily buy Apple Pencil, iPad, and Apple HomePod, things like that. So it's about how they are pitching the product. So
Basically, the thing is that people are not so aware in the offline market. That is why I would say that they are leaving money on the table. They are not actually
they
grabbing
are
that money.
losing money
The
on
main thing is that there are so many
exactly
funnels, there are so many ladders that can be used in our daily businesses, but
exactly
people are just leaving it.
exactly. I went to get my car washed, and I paid around $3 for
Yeah,
getting it
I
washed,
saw that.
but they didn't offer me any membership. I would love to have membership for that. Like
Annual membership, yeah, perfect.
yeah, I would love to have, if someone can come my home and he can get my car
Pick
clean,
up and drop.
be happy to
Yeah.
have the annual subscription of their membership. But they don't have any such membership. Even so, that's they lost money on the business. And I went to a nice salon once around 6 months back, and even they didn't offer me any membership. They didn't have any membership plan. I would loved if they had any membership plan, because that would have binded me to go to that particular saloon itself, and they would have got almost like most of the money in advance. So but they didn't have any membership plan. So it doesn't matter whether the business is online, whether the business
One example I have
yeah,
of who are implementing this unknowingly. I would say unknowingly because they are not
like I
aware
was
of
doing
these
things
things. But
subconsciously.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Gyms in India mostly are
yeah,
now focused towards selling membership.
yeah,
मतलब,
then
they
monthly.
are not selling monthly subscriptions. Most
Yeah,
of the gyms in my area are completely avoiding the monthly subscriptions. They at least sell 3 months membership,
3 months.
3 months, 6 months, and 1 year membership.
Yeah,
So they have figured out this way of selling a membership, and they say that most people don't come even 3 months regular.
no,
So
they have
this is
anything.
a win-win situation for both of them. They don't have to pay again and again, and we get a chunk of money on
Exactly.
single
Like they
payment.
offer like I think $50 for 1 month subscription, and they offer like $100 for 3 month subscription. So it's like the
Yeah.
person gets generally 30% off. And for annual subscription, it's like $150. $50 for 1 month subscription and $150 for annual subscription. That's how they have created their price package, so that
Correct.
someone is like he's confident on spending $150 in once, because they know he will not be visiting more than 30-45 days. So that's what they're doing.
This
So
strategy also is implemented by you must have seen in McDonald's.
yeah,
They offer the small cup for $5, medium cup for $5.5, and
yeah,
large cup for $6.
exactly,
That
that's
makes the
called decoy
large
marketing.
more value for money.
Right, that's called decoy marketing, which Hardik has shared. So guys, see you tomorrow again with chapter 11, which is 23 secrets, 23 elements, building blocks of a successful funnel. So we would be studying each of them one by one. So that's all. If you have any questions, you can reach me back in comments where you are, wherever you are watching this video. See you tomorrow and see you in the next session. Bye bye.